I've got so much to ask, so I'm going to jump straight in. Now that Darcy knows the truth, you know, what was that like playing it? Because it's so fresh in her just going, oh yeah, now I get what your secrets are and I understand.
It was a ton of fun. I mean, just shooting wise, so much fun because Sarah usually shoots all her scenes with Alan,
Mhm.
and we got scenes together a lot, which was awesome. But we really were like so set to enjoy shooting the three of us and shooting more scenes where like it was a collaborative effort to try to help carry the world. And so without spoiling too much, like it was basically a ton of fun, especially for my character to feel like she's snapping into action and she's part of something bigger than herself. Like she really needs to be the hero. So it was a huge relief, I think, for Darcy.
Yeah, it's also just so fun to finally have my best friend know the truth. You know, I couldn't hold on to that anymore.
Yeah.
And I love when you call him a dinosaur. That's a great reaction.
It was a
Thank
little
you.
ageist, but yeah.
He was so upset.
Yeah.
I loved how, usually these secrets come out and then there's just constant arguments between these two best friends.
Yeah.
But instead, this time it's just oh yeah, I get it now. Okay.
Yeah. 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 It was yeah, cuz Sarah is my acting tether and Asta is Darcy's life tether. And so to feel that she was shut out of something big for Darcy was sort of existential, really. And now there's a lot, is but then of course Darcy is an insecure person to the bone, and she's got that thing in the back of her mind like, you didn't trust me with this, you didn't trust me with this, you didn't trust me with this, what's wrong with me, because she's got to make everything about her. So there is that.
Well, so I helped make everything about you as well in that moment by telling you and including you. No, I don't think you make everything about you.
Well,
That's
I
not
don't.
kind.
I
I know.
don't.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
okay. Well,
excuse us. I also think it was just really fun for the three of us to be able to play together. And there's a scene in season 3 where I get to see you just play with Alan, and I had such a
which
blast just
scene?
watching. Where you
Wait,
guys, or are we? Yeah.
wait.
When you do the when you're in the
Apart.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to talk about that? Are we allowed to
No,
talk about anything?
no, we can't talk about that at all. That at all, because
Right.
it involves.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyways, there's a really fun scene between the two of you, which I can't tell you about, but it's really, really cute.
I was really excited to shoot that scene, and without giving away any details and making this as vague as possible. Yeah, there was a couple times when like I get to do more with Alan, which is amazing, and we did have a few episodes where we got to do more with the Harry and the Harry and Darcy post first date, post Darcy sort of hating Alan, and I mean Darcy hating Harry, and now what is their dynamic? And it was very fun to discover that. Obviously, like Alan is an amazing comedic actor too, so he's no me,
Nobody's
he's
you,
no Alice
babe.
Wetterlund.
Nobody's
So
you.
I think for him it was a little hard, because he's like trying to keep up. But yeah, it was amazing.
So Sarah, for Asta, we've had, this she got to meet her mother and it was like all this, this apathetic moment. What was that like for you playing that out and then having the relationship with Jay come out as well?
I think it was a really great moment for Asta to realize that she is actually a better mother than she thought. I think she carried a lot of shame about giving Jay up in season 1 especially, and then they start to build a relationship at the very end, and so you get to see them forming a little bit more of a bond in season 2. But it's really nice to I don't know, meet my mother and understand that I am not her at all, and that there's that there's a line she says where she she's like, oh well, you said you gave up your daughter too. Well, then that means she's not your daughter. And I just remember being so struck by that. Like, that's not how Asta feels about Jay. Asta is incredibly in love with her daughter, will never disown her in that way. And so it was such a good, even though it's hard and it's heartbreaking, and I get to go to D'Arcy at the end and, like embrace her and tell her what happened. It definitely was good, I think, for Asta to pivot into just like when you watch reality TV and you're like, my life ain't so bad. Not all reality TV, no offense, but just
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Asta definitely had a moment where she's like, hey, I'm not so bad as a mom. And I need to just embrace that and own that. And being able to just tell Jay I love her and leave it there and let her decide if she wants a relationship with me is so nice.
The show is a lot about, I mean, a huge a huge core principle to the show and to the assembly of characters is the idea of chosen family.
Mhm.
And we get Harry's perspective a lot about what family is. That's why I think a lot of fans are like, why are we hearing about everybody's parents? It's kind of to set up, I think reading into it is to set up the idea of you choose who your family is, no matter where you were born, what planet you were born into. Those connections that you form, the bonds that you make, and the loves that you have in your life become who your real family is. And I think when we see Asta and Dan go to the reservation, Asta not being a blood relative has no bearing on the fact that she's a part of this family. And I think we get to see more of that in 3, which I love.
Yeah.
It's such a brilliant place to end it as well. That's all I've got time for now. So
Okay.